In this video, let us discuss what are the options under the inspect category. So first option let us start discussing is with the second option, that is highlight open-ends. And this is the most important option, especially when complex sketches are involved. So let me try to draw a line again. And the moment I have drawn a line, you can see that the ends of the line, the left hand side and the right hand side, are not connected to each other. They are a single line segment, whereas in this case I'm trying to create a loop in which I'm connecting all the ends together, right? So the difference between both the cases is that this case is a single line segment with its open ends, and this is a group of line segments which are connected to each other having their ends closed, right? So when we are turning on this option, we can see that the ends are highlighted or shaded a bit darker than the line, and when I'm turning off, you can see the difference that the open ends are not highlighted right now. So if your sketch is involving complex layouts, right, so sometimes it is important for us to not have any ends which are open, right? So in that particular cases, if we are turning on this option, then we can easily identify which line segment is having open end, and we can try to close it to form a exact perfect sketch. So this is the option which is more important in cases which involve complex layouts, complex sketches, etc. So this is about the second option, that is highlight open ends. And let us try to see the second option, the third option, that is shade closed loops. So let me try to create a loop. A loop is nothing but that group of line segments connected to each other having no open ends, right? So this is a loop, and this is not a loop because there are two ends which are open and which can be seen with the help of these shaded boxes. So the moment I have turned off this option, you can see that the loops are not shaded. So it is a thumb rule to keep this turned on, because it helps us distinguish between the closed loops and open sections. So this is all about the closed loop, and the final option is overlapping geometry. You can try to see what is it. I'm creating a line, and imagine I have another line segment which is just overlapping the first line segment, right? And I just want to identify what are the sections in my sketch which are overlapping each other. So the moment I click on overlapping geometry, the geometries which are overlapping turns into different color. They turn into blue color, whereas if I'm just zooming in, they come back to its original color, right? And I'll be having one more geometry over here, one more sketch. And when I'm clicking on this button, on this option, you can see that the sketches or the segments which are overlapping gets or switches into different color. You can see over here. Yes, this geometry or this sketch is having its own starting color, what was present in the starting of the sketch, and whereas this particular two segments have changed into blue color, that means they are overlapping. So these are the options which are under the inspect category. These are quite important for us to analyze the geometry or the sketch, especially where it involves plenty of features. And so far we have covered almost all the options of 2D sketching, and we have one more set of options on the extreme left hand side, that is grid settings and file system. So grid settings are nothing but the default settings which we are working with. We are following the Cartesian coordinate system, and we need not change any settings over here. We just have to keep them default. And if in case there are some geometries that involves polar coordinate system, we can switch the coordinate system to polar and work on that. But most of the cases and most of the cases involve Cartesian coordinate system, so it's better not to change anything in this section. I'm just trying to tell you what are the options available, and let me close this. Coming to file system, I have specially shown a video to make an aerofoil when I was discussing about spherical line, that is spline, and the file system is nothing but if we are interested to import any kind of coordinates or which help us to make a geometry, a clean geometry. In that purpose, we will be using file system. I have shown you how did I convert a spline into an aerofoil having 20 to 30 coordinates, and it was pretty easy converting a spline to an aerofoil by importing the coordinates with the help of file system. So it is nothing but a browsing box for us which can help us to import the data, right? So this is all about 2D sketching.